Welcome to the Pennsylvania CareerLink in Pittsburgh, Allegheny County. We are workforce professionals with expertise in employment. We work with customers every day who want to get started creating a basic resume. In this video, PA CareerLink professionals join forces, bringing together their years of experience and extensive knowledge to help you build your basic resume.
There are many opinions about what makes a good resume. Everyone's work history and skills are different, so each job seeker's resume is unique. In this video presentation, we'll provide some general guidelines to follow as you write your basic resume, tips on how you can showcase your skills to potential employers, and some inspiration for designing your own resume. So let's get started.
Your resume markets your valuable skills to potential employers. So think about your resume as a flyer or a brochure. By writing an effective resume, you're telling a potential employer what makes you a great candidate for the position.
Every resume should include basic contact information such as your name, address, and phone number. Your email address makes an impression on potential employers. If you were an employer, what impression would this email address make on you? What about the date in the email address? Our job seeker's email address may be fine for personal emails, but not for job search. Create a new professional email address dedicated to your job search. It's best to use an email with your name or initials that will project a professional image like these. Avoid birth dates, telephone numbers, or any personal information in an email address for security reasons. Choose a contemporary email provider that is well recognized, like Google or Yahoo. Starting out on any project, you need to get prepared. What will you need to build your resume? At this point, gather your job-related information like dates of employment, names of employers, job titles and duties, education, military service, and any certifications or licenses. Gathering that information is a good thing. Unfortunately, that's where many people stop. Most resumes include a job seeker's basic job-related information and little else. In this very competitive job market, what can you do to make your resume stand out? Consider this. As workers, we bring many skills to our jobs. What are skills? Skills are something that you can do, or a quality or ability that you have. Of course, we think about our job-related skills. They are the technical skills we use to do our particular job or pertain to the industry we work in. An accountant uses accounting skills. A welder uses welding skills. But we also possess additional skills that set us apart from others. Transferable skills are skills that you possess no matter what job you hold. If you change jobs, you transfer skills to your new job. Organizational skills and customer service skills are examples. Everyone is different. What transferable skills set you apart from others? Consider including them as you build your resume along with your job-related skills. Also consider your adaptive skills. These are skills that are related to your personality that can make you successful in your job. Maybe you're reliable, a problem solver, or you're great at meeting deadlines. We may use these adaptive skills daily, but don't think about their importance to our job, so we don't always include them on our resume or as part of our job search. So, although job-related skills are very important, set yourself apart by including your transferable skills and adaptive skills as you build your resume. Once we identify our skills, we can work on showcasing them to potential employers on our resume. Begin to identify your skills by making a list. Think back to your most recent job. What job-related skills did you use? How about transferable skills or adaptive skills? In addition to your work-related skills, list the job-related, transferable, and adaptive skills you used in your military service. Think about the skills you used in your education, maybe in an internship, externship, or on-the-job training. List the skills you used in performing volunteer work. Perhaps you used your skills to prepare items, plan an event, or raise funds. Everyone's skills are different. As you compile your list, you begin to see all of the skills and abilities you possess. They can be valuable to a potential employer. Using this information about skills, let's build a resume. Let's talk about this job seeker who visited PA CareerLink for assistance. He wants to build a basic resume. We'll call him Tim. Tim has worked as an administrative assistant in the past and is now seeking employment. He wants a potential employer to know that his job-related skills include using computer software programs and administrative skills like answering telephone calls and recording information. That's great, but so do many other candidates applying for the same jobs. But what if Tim identified his transferable skills and can share that he has excellent communication, organizational, and customer service abilities? Excellent. Now, what if Tim went a step further and identified his adaptive skills and can add that he is reliable, detail-oriented, and meets deadlines? Wow, great job, Tim. Tim has not only identified job-related skills that an employer wants, but has distinguished himself from many other candidates by identifying his transferable and adaptive skills. Now let's help Tim build his resume so he can effectively showcase all of those skills to potential employers. So far, Tim's resume includes his basic contact information, including the professional email address he created. In this competitive job market, employers receive lots of resumes. What can we do to grab the employer's attention so Tim's resume has the best chance of being read? A professional summary can do that. We'll help Tim write his professional summary. In the past, Tim used an objective on his resume. As you can see, it was way too general and didn't really stand out. Tim chose to use a professional summary instead of an objective. This area summarizes the most important skills, qualifications, training, and achievements he wants a potential employer to know about him in a few sentences. The professional summary is right at the top of the resume, so it is the first thing that a potential employer will see. So Tim will be sure to include his most impressive information here, sharing with the employer what makes him a great candidate for the job.
Think about the last time you viewed a trailer for a great new movie. From that short movie clip, you thought, I really need to see that movie. Think about your professional summary in the same way. When a recruiter reads your short professional summary, placed right at the top of your resume, you want them to say, I really want to interview this job seeker.
Tim was sure to include his top job-related skills in his professional summary, which he identified as administrative and computer skills. He also included his top transferable skills, which were communications, organizational, and customer service skills. And he wanted a potential employer to know that he possessed unique personality traits, his adaptive skills, that he was detail-focused, reliable, and that he could meet deadlines. This is a good place to brag about your work-related accomplishments. If you have earned a certificate, degree, or professional designation, add that. If you have work-related awards or achievements, include them. Tim's resume is looking pretty good. What else can he do to ensure his resume will get an employer's attention? Tim can add keywords. Many employers use applicant tracking systems. These are computer systems that scan resumes for keywords or phrases the employer is looking for on the job seeker's resume. It is much like when we search for words or phrases on a computer search engine on the internet. The keywords may be certain skills or qualifications that the employer is looking for. Tim has already woven some keywords throughout his professional summary by listing the skills he possesses. You can see that if an employer was looking for keywords like associate's degree, consumer loan, computer, or deadlines on job seekers' resumes, Tim's resume would come up as a potential candidate. Some resumes list additional keywords or skills below the professional summary to be sure they are highlighted. Tim could use keywords that are industry specific, which means that in Tim's case, keywords that are related to the industry he works in, which is banking. Instead of using general terms to explain what skills you have, be specific. For example, instead of using a general term like Microsoft Office Suite, include specific programs you are proficient in and use regularly. Instead of telling the potential employer you possess product knowledge, tell them exactly what type of product knowledge you possess, like consumer loans. Be specific on the types of business documents you created. Tim may want to scan several job postings in his field, banking, to see what keywords are frequently being used by human resource professionals. By doing that, he may find that he was not giving himself credit for many of the skills and abilities he was using in his previous positions or when he made a list of his skills. If so, he can go back and adjust his keywords and skills. Also, search online for industry-specific keywords and see what keywords are being used most often in the industry you work in. As we build Tim's resume, we will use even more keywords when we add his work experience. Let's take a look at the resume Tim has used in the past and the resume he is building now. So far, this is how they compare. Tim's new resume really stands out. So far, Tim's resume is looking great. Now Tim can go into more detail about his job-related, transferable, and work-related skills. Although there are many resume templates or patterns available, most resumes follow two basic styles based on the focus of the resume. Tim has a decision to make. What does he want the focus of his resume to be? Does he want his resume to have more of a job-related focus? or a skills-based focus. Let's see what Tim's resume might look like in both styles and when Tim might choose one or the other. One choice Tim has is called a chronological resume, which focuses on his work history. This type of resume is very common. Job seekers typically list their dates of employment and employers in chronological or date order, with the most recent employer listed first. The heading for that section is usually called experience or employment. You can see that on Tim's resume, his job-related skills and work history are the focus. This type of resume may have the employer's name or dates of employment bulleted or highlighted with bold, underline, or italics. A job seeker may want to use this type of resume when most of their work history is in the same field, there are no interruptions in their employment, and when they want to demonstrate increasing work responsibilities or promotions and remain in the same field. By choosing a chronological resume, Tim can highlight his strong work history as an administrative professional in the banking industry, and that may help him gain employment in that same field. Even though Tim is focusing on his job-related skills, he still included his transferable skills and his adaptive skills throughout the employment section as he wrote about his work experience. Rather than writing duties included or responsibilities included, Tim started each sentence with a strong action verb like planned, developed, created, and exceeded to describe his previous experience. And when possible, he quantified the information. For example, scored 99% customer satisfaction rating. Consider searching online for resume action verbs that will help you write about your job successes. Be creative when you write. Vary your words to make your resume more interesting and readable. Tim listed his education under the education heading. It's not necessary to include the dates you attended. List the highest level of education you attained. In Tim's case, he listed his associate's degree. Listing his high school diploma is optional, since employers will assume he completed a diploma or GED in order to advance to an associate's degree program. If Tim was currently enrolled in an educational program, he could still include it. He could note that he was currently enrolled and his anticipated graduation date. If Tim had attended many job-related seminars or workshops, either in addition to or rather than formal education, he may want to use a separate professional development section. If you are a recent graduate, having more education than work experience, consider listing your education before your work experience on your resume. For veterans, writing about military work experience starts with identifying skills and translating those skills in a way that civilians would understand. Visit the Veterans Services area on the Job Gateway website for help with that. Enter your branch of service and a military code or keyword about the work you performed. The Career Summary section will identify the tasks, knowledge, skills, and abilities associated with that job. At different points in your career, how you write about your military service may change. For example, a service member who is recently discharged and may not have any civilian work experience after the military may wish to list their military experience in the work experience section and go into great detail. However, a veteran who had been discharged and also has civilian work experience may wish to list their military experience in less detail in a separate section indicating military service. As you write your resume, include keywords that apply to your military service such as leadership, problem solving, teamwork, or professional dedication. No matter what your situation, it is likely that including your military experience on your resume will reflect positively upon you. Write about your military skills, accomplishments, and responsibilities on your resume in civilian terms. Assume that the person reading your resume doesn't know anything about military life. Show your resume to a non-military friend and ask them to point out anything that they don't understand. Tim's previous resume included the phrase references available upon request. Tim won't add references or write references available upon request on his current resume. It's implied that if an employer asks for your references, you would most likely provide them. Tim will use this extra space to add more information about his skills. The other type of resume Tim may choose to use is a functional or skills-based resume, which focuses less on Tim's work history and more on the qualifications and skills that he has. This type of resume usually has the candidate's qualifications and skills bulleted or highlighted with bold, underline, or italics. Tim can convey to the potential employer exactly what areas he excels in. Tim might want to use this type of resume if he has worked in many different fields or if he wants to change careers. He may want to use it if he has had interruptions in his employment history greater than 1 year. Tim still listed his employers and dates of employment on the functional resume, but the focus is on his skills. Let's look a little more closely on how Tim highlighted his skills on this skills-based resume. First, he used a qualification and skills heading. He chose some of his top skills, then gave some examples on how he used these skills successfully in his work. Tim included a strong verb in each sentence, like created, assisted, and exceeded to describe his skill. And when possible, he quantified the information. For example, scored a 99% customer satisfaction rating. What are your top skills? In this section, Tim can communicate to potential employers how he can take skills he used in previous experience and bring them to the job they are seeking to fill. This would be very valuable if he was interested in changing career fields. Previously, Tim told us that his transferable skills were communications, organization, and customer service. Tim can transfer and use these particular skills in any job or career field. What are your transferable skills? Here's Tim's resume in both chronological and functional styles. Although both resumes contain basically the same information, can you see how the focus is different on each? Is there anything else you want to share with a potential employer? Consider creating a separate resume section for job-related information that may set you apart from other candidates. For example, if a job seeker possesses technology skills, they may want to share the types of computer hardware, software, or applications they have experience with in a separate section on their resume, perhaps called Technology Profile or Technology Summary. A job seeker who has worked in the automotive, facilities, or construction field may want to add an equipment or technical skills heading and discuss the types of equipment and machinery they operated. Other headings may include publications, public speaking, professional affiliations, certifications and licenses, volunteer experience, and language skills.
Remember that the goal of your resume is to get the interview, so don't overload your resume with more resume extras that are necessary to get the interview. When you are at the interview, you can share more details then.
If you do choose to add resume extras, where you place that section on your resume depends on how important it is to the job you are applying for. Information you want the employer to be certain to see should be near to the top of your resume. The less important information can be placed further down the page. In this case, Tim wanted to include his professional memberships, but he wanted to highlight his employment and education more, so they were placed closer to the top of the resume. Now is a great time to proofread your resume. Remove anything from your resume that is not job-related, like personal information, photos, date of birth, and social security number. Salary information should not be on your resume. That can be discussed at an interview. Check for spelling and grammatical errors. Use your computer's spell check feature or consider having someone review your resume. Watch for too many abbreviations. Consider spelling out words like street or avenue. Check the dates and facts you place on your resume. And remember that what you place on your resume should be able to be verified.
Recruiters and employers are busy professionals. They may have just a few minutes to scan your resume, so you want to be sure to capture their attention right away. Here's a good test. Fold your resume in half. Is the most important information you want the employer to see still visible? If not, make some adjustments so the most important information about you is towards the top of the page.
As you prepare for job search, plan to have your resume saved on your computer or flash drive. Have it ready to print to take to job fairs, recruitment events, and interviews. The resume that you print on paper can have any formatting you wish, like bullets, underline, and italics. There are many different types of templates or patterns for resumes available online. You may format your resume based on your personal preference. For example, this is how Tim's resume would look if some of the headings were centered rather than left aligned. Tim limited his resume to one page, which is preferable, although he could use 2 pages if he had an extensive work history. It's best to avoid scripted font to keep your resume readable, stick with a basic font like Arial, size to 11 or 12, and keep an 1-inch margin. In addition to your printable resume, consider creating a scannable resume to keep on your computer or flash drive. If you submit your printable resume to an employer who is using scanning equipment to search for keywords, your resume may become difficult to read when scanned. This is because the formatting that looks great on your printable resume, like underlining, bullets, italics, and punctuation marks, may run together when your resume is scanned. Create a separate, scannable resume that has much of that formatting removed, one that will remain clear and readable when scanned by an employer. To create a scannable resume, use a readable font like Arial. Left align your text. Remove formatting like bullets, underlining, bold, and italics. Keep keyboard symbols and punctuation to a minimum. Save your scannable resume as a Word document to your computer or flash drive. You can clearly see the differences between this same resume, one printable with formatting that a person would read, the other scannable with formatting removed that a computer would read. Consider using the scannable version when you are submitting your resume to an employer who is likely to use electronic scanning, for example, an employer who receives a large volume of resumes. Use a scannable resume when an employer requests it. If you are emailing your resume to a potential employer and you are not sure if it will be scanned, it is acceptable to email both a printable and electronic scannable copy of your resume when you respond to a job posting. Tim has done a great job of creating a basic resume and saving it onto his computer or flash drive. If he wanted to, Tim can go a step further and customize his resume for each job he applies for.
A great way to customize your resume is in the professional summary section, highlighting the skills you possess for the particular job you're applying for.
Finally, a word about cover letters. A cover letter offers another opportunity to market yourself to the potential employer. Use your cover letter to create a connection or match between you and the potential employer, present your career objective, highlight how your qualifications meet the position requirements, and ask for an interview. Address your cover letter to the person named in the job posting. If there is no name listed, it's appropriate to address it to Dear Hiring Manager. It is also appropriate to email your cover letter with your resume.
We hope this video has been very helpful to you today.
If you would like additional assistance with your resume or job search, please contact your local Pennsylvania CareerLink. Thank you for watching. Good luck in your job search.